Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special interview. Today we have with us our longtime retiring principal, Mr. Tom Mooney, who has been in our district for many years, and he is currently the principal of the primary school and the Comrade Albium Early Learning Center. And today we're just going to take a few moments and celebrate a bit about Tom, about his history here in McFarland, learn a bit more about him, and something that we'll be able to share with the community, and then that he'll be able to share with his family. Because, Tom, you have a pretty large family, don't you?
I do have a large family, yes.
How many brothers and sisters?
I have 10 brothers and 10 sisters.
10 brothers and 10 sisters. So we know for sure that this program will be like have a good audience just based on Tom's family. So that's a good thing. Tom, I'm going to ask you a few questions,
okay,
if you don't mind. First of all, it's great to have you here, but I'm a little concerned right now. Who is handling the primary school? Like, if something happens, who's in charge over there?
The teachers and the support staff, as usual.
Okay, so
they're in safe hands.
Okay, it's good. So I guess it would maybe say that really you're not necessary there.
Well, in so many words, you might be accurate.
All right, let's go back now to the very beginning, okay, if we could, and learn a little bit about how you ended up coming to McFarland as principal.
Okay, I came. I was a speech and language pathologist in the Janesville school system.
Okay.
And this job was posted back in 1987 in the spring. What they were looking for was a unique position. It was a half-time speech language pathologist position and a half-time building principal position.
Wow.
Well, coincidentally, I had the speech and language background, and I also had my administrative degree. And being from Madison, I thought this would be a good opportunity for myself and my family to get back into the Madison area. And knowing McFarland had such a rich reputation, I thought, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see if this is something that would be a good fit for the district and for me.
Now, did you ever think it would turn out to be such a long-term commitment here in McFarland?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I had reservations about coming to McFarland, it being a small village, and being from Madison and working in Janesville, sort of larger cities. I thought, I'm not sure if a small village would be a good fit for me. But we made the leap. I told my wife, well, let's stay for 13 years. Because our twins were coming into kindergarten at the time. We thought for 13 years, we'll try it. And then probably, search out something different after that. Well, here, 14 years later than that, here I am, ready to retire. It's been an excellent position for me, a great fit. I appreciate everything that the district has provided, myself and certainly my family.
You said you came from Madison, and it sounds to me like you had quite a crew of siblings that you grew up with.
Way too many, Scott. Way too many.
Tell us about growing up in Madison. What was that like in your family? What did your family look like?
Well, first of all, the house that I was raised in is the same house that my dad was born in. He's living there now still. Having 11 children in the family and just one car, we did a lot of walking, biking, and using the city buses a lot. My grandmother lived on the west side of Madison, so during the winter months, if some of us didn't take the bus or walk, my dad had to shuttle us back and forth. Fortunately, my grandmother was on the bus line also, so it wasn't that part of a journey to get from the east side to the west side.
Now, all those brothers and sisters with one car, I bet sometimes, and it's a different day back then, there weren't seat belts, and you just kind of fit the kids wherever you could. There weren't child safety seats, but I recall a story about all of you traveling in the car on one winter day. You want to share that with the
Sure, and in fact, now all of us were in the car, just maybe about 8 of us. And again, we're always running late,
right.
So we all piled into the car and went down to Sherman Avenue, the first stop sign. My dad took a left. Well, apparently the last one into the car didn't close the door tight enough. And we had kids sitting on the floor on our laps, and my younger sister rolled out of the vehicle. It was winter, though, so she was fully clothed and padded. And we had to yell to my dad to stop the car because Rosemary fell out of the car. So he just slammed on the brakes. I got out, went to pick her up, and we got in the car, we continued.
Another thing I think that folks might be interested in knowing about you said you walked a lot. Mm-hmm. Now, tell us a little bit about, it's something that I know on the wall in your office and everybody in your buildings recognize. You have quite a phenomenal history of walking.
Right. And part of my walking expedition started when I was young, because we had to walk. Imagine walking from Tenney Park in Madison over to West High School.
Wow.
That's probably about 3 miles or so,
Yeah.
and then maybe walking back, just on nice days. Then I was in Scouts, and each month we took a hike, anywhere from maybe 6 miles up to 20 miles. So when I got to McFarland, I was looking for a way to ease the stress and tension that comes with the position once in a while.
Yeah.
And one of my sisters was walking marathons at the time, walking, not running. So I joined her. And since then, I've walked about 120 full marathons and about
120?
8 half marathons.
Wow.
Now we're older.
Right.
So we've slowed down to half marathons now.
That's incredible. That's incredible. You know, you've created a lot of memories in your buildings. I know that from the different folks we've worked with. And, you know, one of the memories is certainly about your ties. Mm-hmm. How did the you know, kind of the mark of Mr. Mooney and the different ties and the special ties he wears every day, how did that all start?
It started when I was working in Janesville. For Christmas, parents would buy ties for me. So I came to McFarland with about maybe 20 ties or so. Mm-hmm. And then when I came to McFarland, there used to be a cheap tie store out at the malls. It used to be called the Tie Rack. Mm-hmm. And they ran a whole host of lots of different ties. So I purchased some, and then over the years, gifts again. But nearly all the ties that I do wear, Scott, there's a purpose of me wearing that tie for that particular day. Now, many of my ties tie well with the curriculum, by the way. You might have to use your imagination a little bit.
Okay.
There is a connection there.
Wow.
For example, the tie I'm wearing today.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful
It's
tie.
the probably waterfront, swans, palm trees, sand. Thinking of retirement, this is sort of what I'm envisioning what it might be for me in a few months.
I know that everybody has been interested in the ties, and that's an awesome one you have today. I don't know what you thought of the tie that I wore today.
I loved it. But isn't that a different tie than you had on just a moment ago?
Well, actually, Tom, it is. It is a different tie because I'm changing my ties just in honor of you throughout this interview.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Right. And it will appear as magic, I believe, when they replay this.
Okay.
It just comes and goes. All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. A few more questions here. For you. We've learned about a little bit about you growing up and some of your experiences, but one thing I think, you mentioned it earlier, but I don't know many people know that you are an Eagle Scout. So tell us a little bit about scouting and what that meant in your life.
I guess scouting it served as the foundation for my adulthood. As you go through the scouting, you learn how to be responsible, independent, seek initiative. That work ethic is just drilled into you. You learn to do and provide a lot of service to your local community and beyond that. It's just a wonderful community of growth. And certainly the scout leaders I had were mentors for me. It took a lot of work, a lot of time, but it was well worth it. And again, I think having the foundation in scouting, because it builds your character, and I think that was a great fit for me when I was young.
Now, I remember seeing a picture of a very special statewide honor relative to scouting that you had, I believe in like the legislative chamber. What was that about?
When I was in high school, I was the representative for all the scouts in the state of Wisconsin. So each state rep attended the Apollo 13 liftoff in Florida. Unfortunately, that was the one that had a lot of challenges to it. But part of that was to receive that recognition from the legislative body here at the state capitol with Governor Knowles.
Wow. So right with Governor Knowles, you saw him or you met him that day.
Yeah. So, actually, I saw him quite a bit because when we were young, we had the playground, or the capitol, and the square was our playground for our family and friends. Because growing up just a mile from the square,
right,
we would ride our bikes up there and just be up there all day.
So you originally, your family were like the starters of Occupy Madison, in a way.
Probably,
right
yeah. Well, as a matter of just about 3 blocks from where it was last year. But we never left. We're still there.
Tell us a little bit about your college background.
Since all of us had to pay for our own tuition, coming from a family of 11 siblings, we had to pay for our own high school. If we went to a parochial high school, certainly had to pay for our own college tuition and that. So I started out at MATC in Madison Area Technical College, received an associate degree in business administration, transferred to Whitewater in the undergrad program for communicative disorders, continued another year in the master's program.
Okay.
And then came to Madison for the administrative degree.
Okay. And if I remember right, in terms of licenses you have with DPI, kind of go through all those.
The speech and language pathologist license for K-12. What comes along with that is a teaching license also for K-12.
All right.
It's not like I could teach a technology course or anything like that at this point. Director of Special Education, Superintendent of Schools.
Okay.
And my speech and language pathologist degree for private practice also.
So I was thinking about this when you just mentioned that, and really for the folks in the community, if we ever really needed to save a lot of money in McFarland, you could be a speech pathologist for us. You could teach a class, and then also run a building as a principal. You could run the whole special education department, and you could be superintendent, all at the same time.
If this district was going to downsize a lot, I'd be the person.
You'd be the right one to do it. When you came to McFarland, before you came to McFarland, you were in what school districts?
I did a part-time at Whitewater School District when I was in grad school. Then I was in the Janesville Public Schools for 11 years.
All right. And you came to McFarland, became the principal here. Tell us about your first year. What was that like? I mean, it's a whole new responsibility. Or even the first day, how did it all go?
Yeah. Well, let me step back a little. What I found appealing about this particular position, Scott, was that I love being with kids. And going 100% administrative, I thought I might lose contact with the kids. So this was a perfect position because I'd be spending half my time interacting with kids directly, half time sort of overseeing the campus. And that occurred for 3 years. And Don Barnes was my mentor back then. And then he went half-time and I went full-time.
Oh, okay.
So we sort of just flipped for about maybe 3 or 4 years, and then I became a full-time permanent, full-time principal for the whole campus.
Wow.
And back then it was early childhood through grade 6. When I came in '87, we had about 950 students on that campus. We had early childhood at the Bible camp. We conducted our Title I 4K program, the spring program, at Christ the King Church or the American Legion Hall. We had classrooms in the cafeteria, in the library. We were full.
So there was no Wabisa then? There was
no Wabisa.
No Indian Mound?
Nope. It was just 2 sites. It was the elementary campus and the middle school, high school, which is here at the high school site.
What are some of your, as you kind of reflect, before we have some more serious thoughts here, what are some humorous moments you can remember from your career and working with kids? I mean, kids say the funniest things, do the funniest things. What are some things that come to mind when you think about over the years that our folks might like hearing?
Well, a lot of times, you want to stop and smell the roses, and when it comes to a kid business such as school, it's important just to walk in the footsteps of a kid. And usually what's quite humorous is when they start to lose their teeth.
Yeah.
I mean, this is tooth heaven at the elementary campus. We'll have children who've lost many teeth to children who are just losing their first one, and it's wiggling, it's just dangling there by a thread. Yeah, and they want me to pull it out. I tell them I'm not a dentist and I can't pull it out. The kids getting things confused. Yeah, again, we're in close proximity, put on each other's outerwear, without realizing that they took their neighbors instead of theirs. Just the innocence that children bring to school. The other thing is, as I talk to my incoming 5K parents, I share the 50-50 rule. And the 50-50 rule is this, is that we'll only believe half of what the kids tell us at school about what happens at home if they believe only half of what their child comes home telling them about what happens at school.
That's a good rule.
So
a very
anytime
good
parents have a question, they're welcome just to give us a call.
All right. So everybody remember the 50-50 rule. That's a good one to remember in life.
Yep.
Okay. One of the things we'd like to ask you about is about the staff and what it's like to work with the staff at the primary school through the years, and what that staff is like at that grade level, and kind of what you see. So tell us about your experience with working with elementary teachers and the staff at the two buildings.
Well, I came into the situation 27 years ago knowing it was a fine staff, because just back in 1986, the elementary campus received the recognition as an outstanding elementary school back then. So I knew that for that to take place, the staff had to be exceptional. So I walked in 1987, the staff were there. I was just amazed about the dedication, the commitment, the expertise, and the amount of passion that staff have, not only for their craft, but also for the kids and the families from which they come from. We do have a lot of what we call site-based decision-making. A lot of things that happen on our campus isn't a result of me being there. It's a result of the staff that make up the faculty there. Again, I've learned much more from my staff over the years than they certainly have learned from me. I mean, they're the practitioners. They're the ones that are interacting with kids 7, 8 hours a day. They're the ones that are making the connections with the home. They're the ones that are facing the challenges and the opportunities. And again, I felt that my job was back then, and still is, to remove as many barriers to teachers teaching and kids learning as possible. So I can help try to facilitate that, and I think I'm in a good role to do that. But again, as I've shared with my staff, they're second to none, both support staff and the teaching staff, EC through grade 2. And on the other hand, we've lost a lot of staff through retirement, and I thought, well, okay, that's going to impact the quality, but it hasn't. I mean, we just continue to grow and continue to grow in excellence.
Well, I kind of set you up there because I asked you to talk about your staff, and we have something special for you to watch right now. It's a special message from your colleagues in the building, your peers, and your friends, and they want to share something with you.
Hi, Mr. Mooney. I can hear what you're saying right now. Uh-oh, this is going to be bad. No, come on, don't worry. You are so generous and caring, and there's no task that's beneath you.
A shout out to you, Mr. Mooney. Thank you so much. You've been a great friend, mentor, and colleague. You've given so much to me. I've learned so much from you. And I want to thank you, too, for all you've given to the children here in McFarland and to the entire McFarland community. I wish you the best in your retirement. Enjoy your time with Candy and your whole family. You deserve it. Thank you.
You deserve a great retirement, and it's been a pleasure being your assistant over the past 20 years. Happy retirement.
Tom, I just want to take this chance to wish you the very best, because if anyone deserves it, it's you. I still can remember when I first came to McFarland, and I would get so nervous when I went into your office that I could hardly even talk because you were my principal. But through the years, you have just been so approachable and so friendly and been such a role model that now I just really feel like you're my friend, and I appreciate you for that.
Here's the story of a man named Mooney, busy with 2 elementary schools. Both of them were full of kids and excellent teachers who followed PBIS rules. Until one day when this principal retired, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that our group will somehow go on without him. But we know we'll always be the Mooney Bunch, the Mooney Bunch, the Mooney Bunch. We know we'll always be the Mooney Bunch.
You always had one item at the top of your agenda, and that was the kids. And you'll be missed, but remember, you're retiring from work, but not from life. Thank you for everything you've done.
Hi, Tom. I just want to say happy retirement. It's well-deserved. I'm going to miss coming into the office every morning and seeing your smiling face behind the desk.
The kindergarten team presents the acronyms of Tom Mooney. T for terrific traveler. O for outstanding leader.
M for marvelous marathon walker.
M for master of piloting programs.
O for optimist for his staff. O for office budget, always willing to share. N is for never a better president of our school.
E is for excellent practical joker. And Y is for you, because we will miss you.
All I can say is how grateful I am to have known you all these years and how fortunate I feel to have been working with you all this time. And you are going to be incredibly missed.
Oh, the places we've been with our dear colleague Tom. During long-winded meetings, you've remained focused and calm. Oh, the places you'll go with candy by your side. When you take in the sights, we hope you enjoy the ride.
I want to say good luck to you in your retirement. Enjoy all of your many travels and adventures to come, and come back and visit us. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and I'll miss you sincerely.
Tom, from your special education team, we have a retirement effectiveness plan, or REP, to guide you with goals and objectives.
Your overall goal is to enjoy retirement 100% of the time. Objective number 1, sleep past 7 a.m. at least once per week, or find your natural circadian rhythm.
Objective number 2, exercise daily.
Objective number 3, eat well, and yes, that includes chocolate.
Objective number 4, always keep your glass or wine glass half full. Objective number 5, enjoy more time with your family, because as you always have told us, family comes first. Objective number 6, visit a national park every year.
Objective number 7, find something to smile about every day. That will be easy for you, Tom.
Objective number 8, enjoy your tie-free days.
Objective number 9, laugh loudly using your core muscles.
Objective number 10, observe the environment around you and analyze the data on what brings you joy.
Objective number 11, always remember you are a Spartan star, Tom, and you will be missed by all of us on special ed, and know you are a lifelong LEA.
Thanks, Tom. We'll miss you.
I think Mr. Mooney should ride his bike. I think Mr. Mooney should go to Antarctica when he retires. I think Mr. Mooney should go on boats and take his kids and go fishing with them. Mr. Mooney, I think you should spend time with your family when you have time. Hi, Mr. Mooney. I think you should eat dinner with your family. I think Mr. Mooney should have a party with his kids and play with him more. Play with his kids more often, like do some sports with them. I think Mr. Mooney should go to Hawaii and have $1 million. Hi, Mr. Mooney. I think you should go to the water park, and then when you're there, go down the water slides. And while you're there, you should play video games in the arcade. Hi, Mr. Mooney. When you retire, I think you should go to Australia.
Whoa, what can I say about that?
Well, what can you say, Tom?
Well, let me give you a little background about that last clip there.
Okay.
At Washington Elementary School, we had a reading program each year, reading motivation program. And then at the end, we would always have a surprise assembly of some kind. And what the staff decided to do is that they would do Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly at the elementary level, again, most of them were female teachers.
Right.
There were only a couple male teachers. So they asked if I would be Snow White and they'd be the dwarfs and all that. I said, I will be, but I don't want any speaking parts. So someone else spoke for me. So I just had to show up looking pretty,
Yes.
turn around, and that was it.
Wow.
But that was supposed to be buried a few years ago, that videotape.
Yes, it was. It was. We found it in a great video vault that now we shared it with the country. We're a little nervous, frankly, that it's going to be picked up and go viral on YouTube, and you may be getting interviews on national press at some time.
I probably won't be passing any more background checks either. Yeah.
No. First of all, I just wanted to say, Tom, that to thank Georgia Lions and the others from Cable 12 for putting that video together. I thought it was just fantastic.
It was wonderful.
And when you look at that and you see what those folks share, what's your impression? What do you feel in your heart?
I feel very humbled, Scott. I feel that the focus should be on them rather than me. Like I said before, I've tried to help facilitate where we are, but really the work has been done and accomplished by everyone on the videotape there. So I certainly applaud them and appreciate everything that they've done, all the support that they've provided to me. But again, it's their work and their dedication and their vision that has resulted that we are in a good place here right now.
So you are looking now at retiring this year, and wouldn't be appropriate in an interview not to ask what I would say is the legacy question, which is you hope that people reflect on your good work here for many, many years in McFarland. What legacy do you hope they will remember, and what principles, spelled with L-E, principles, would you hope that folks would learn from your life that would continue on in McFarland with the other staff and in the lives of the children?
I guess, the first thing would be passion for the kids that we are responsible for, passion for the staff that I'm responsible for, and passion to help support families, to help support them to support their kids. So again, to remove as many barriers as possible to ensure greater success by all. When I say by all, by kids, teachers, support staff, and families. I think the other thing is I'd like to be remembered as using common sense. I mean, there's a lot of rules and regulations, there's a lot of stuff out there. I think it has to come down to common sense. Without having a lot of background information, what would be the best solution to this issue, this scenario? And again, that solution might be common sense for me, but may not be common sense for another person. And lastly, sort of the relationship building, relationships within your colleagues that you work with every day, relationships with families, because families are engaged partners here in the district, and also outreach to the community, to go beyond our school walls and come to them where they don't always have to come to us.
So coming up right around the end of the first week of June, a little bit further, you're then staying through June, finishing things up, and you've had the opportunity to meet the new principal.
Yep, Sarah Bowman.
So what's your impression of Sarah so far?
You really want to know?
I know.
This is what I've shared with staff.
Yes.
Sarah and I have met numerous times. And Sarah serving as the 4K principal this year has been a great advantage, not only for her, but for us as a district. I'm confident that she will be able to continue and enhance what we have done here on the elementary campus. I think she's a great fit. She'll already know most of the kindergarten families. So she really has to get to know the first and second grade families, which she will get to know. Again, she has the vision and the drive to make this even a better place than what I'm leaving it in. So I'm very confident. And I feel good for the district.
Yeah.
I think they picked an excellent candidate. I've shared that with my staff. Whenever there's a changeover or change, there's a little nervousness. But in this case, I think it'll be a wonderful transition.
Thanks for sharing that. She looks a lot more like Snow White than you do too.
Yes,
So
yes, she does. And probably a better looking Snow White than myself too.
So now, after June, at the end of June, what do you plan on doing for kind of short-term, long-term?
Well, did you ever see that movie, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to travel quite a bit.
Okay.
First of all, some people are asking if we're going to move out of McFarland, since I won't be working here anymore. And my response is, no, actually, we're going to remain in McFarland because of the schools, because of the community. I can't think of a more comfortable, enticing place than to remain right here. We hope to travel once a month, be gone 1 or 2 weeks a month, travel around the country by car, by train. We're doing a little cruising up in the Northeast this fall. We're going to go up to Canada. We hope to make it over to Europe once or twice, to Ireland, Paris, Rome. Take a cruise over there. So we're going to get all this traveling out of our system. We're going to sleep late.
Okay.
Like you said, we're going to get room darkening shades. Get rid of the clocks and the schedules. Just keep a calendar so we know where we want to be when. So we were thinking of going out to California in July, but now with the wildfires and the drought out there, and we can't have campfires because we do camp. So we're thinking of going to Quebec and Montreal instead.
Wow.
It's a little cooler up there.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we do plan to have a lot of fun. Even my wife has agreed to go on one trip on a bus.
Wow.
Like Greyhound bus.
Wow.
So we're going to try all different
Planes,
types of
trains, buses, automobiles.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And now that you've announced to a national audience that you're going to be not in your home for 2 weeks out of each month, I want to also remind our audience that Mr. Mooney has a full security system as a part of the Neighborhood Watch program.
That's right. That's right.
And has multiple locks on every door.
And I'll have
And a vicious dog.
And we will have someone staying in the house while we're gone.
Someone staying in the house while we're gone. So we cleared that
Fully
up.
armed, by the way.
So what do you see like 5 years down the road? What do you hope to be doing in the community? Awesome that you're staying.
Yeah, actually, we hope to get reconnected with the community in September 2015 by volunteering here in the community. I do have a couple other interests in pursuing at that time to see what area I would like to really enjoy.
Yes.
It would be part-time, though.
Okay.
So.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
So we'll see what happens.
Right, and we have to remember, if there's a superintendent opening, we have a person right here in town who has a license. So.
Right, but I'm trying to get away from the schedules and all the night meetings.
That's true.
So that'll be the biggest advantage.
Is there anything, Tom, in closing here that you would like to share with the community or your staff or anything else you want to say?
I would just want to thank all the stakeholders here in McFarland, starting certainly with the staff, teaching staff, the support staff on campus, and district-wide. As our district has grown, I've become a little less connected to the newer staff in the other buildings. But again, interacting with them periodically, the quality of staff continues to be at the highest. Certainly I want to thank the Administrative Council. I've seen that change over the years. When I came, we didn't have a director of instruction, we didn't have a budget director, we didn't have technology. So McFarland has been very progressive to keeping up to date. And as a result of that, we see the merits of that with our open enrollment numbers, where we can't even accommodate all of them. Certainly the families. The board adopted policy a few years ago where we expect parents to be collaborators with the district, and I think that's huge. It's very positive. No longer should parents opt out of that. I mean, we can't do it alone. Right. Yeah, it takes the schools and the families and the communities to work together. It does take a whole village to raise a kid. I know that's some people might not believe that. And certainly the school board. I mean, the school board, historically speaking, has been very supportive. And I can remember in spring of '87, after I was hired, I wasn't here yet, But I come to board meetings. I was working full-time in Janesville. I'd come and the board meetings would go till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, and think of how that has streamlined. But the quality of board members, McFarland should be very fortunate to have the 5 individuals on the board that we do have, because that doesn't happen everywhere. This has been the best position ever for me. I refer to our campus once in a while as the Magic Kingdom of the North. That's where the kids want to be. You know, they're eager learners. They love to be there. It's a really positive place. It's also like a huge family. And with any huge family, we do have our challenges once in a while. But I think if we put our focus on things that are going well, work off the strength model, it just helps our attitude and our perseverance to continue. So I want to thank you also, Scott, for all the support you've provided me over the past many years, but certainly the district. I mean, I couldn't have thought of a better career or location than right here in McFarland.
Thank you. So today we've had a chance to talk to Tom. We've been able to hear from his friends and family on campus. I've had the honor of serving with Tom for, I think this is our 22nd year together in the district. And it's just phenomenal to be able to have had that service with you, an honor to serve with you, and the community's been honored to have you here, Tom. Thanks so much for spending time with all of us, and we wish you the best in your retirement, but it's certainly not goodbye, because we're going to see you around town, and we're going to continue to enjoy maybe a tie-less Mr. Mooney
Probably,
in
yes.
the community. So, thank you very much.
Yeah. And one other comment. I mean, if people are looking for ties, Scott,
Yes.
I'm opening up a tie shop.
Okay.
So a lot of holiday-type ties, curriculum ties, so they're going cheap. So if you need a tie, just let me know.
All right, we're going to put the number, Tom's home phone number, on the bottom of the screen. No. So, thank you, Tom.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you.